Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, behind the scenes I've got a bunch of stuff done, but today we're going to get a bunch more done, so make sure you stay tuned. Howdy guys, welcome to the cave. I'm Mark, and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Okay, so let me get you caught up on what I've done, and then we'll get into what I'm going to do. So anyways, so what I've gotten done, and I've broken off a piece already, so I'll have to re-glue this. That'll be in a few minutes. In the last video, you saw that I made this panel. It's out of aluminum, made it look like bead roll. But since then, I've gotten it painted. So chassis is just straight black. So that's looking good so far. Then I finished putting the motor together as far as I'm going to do it right now. And I started painting it. Now it's not done being painted, but I've got it started. So here's the big old elephant 426 Hemi. Now I still got to do a bunch of detailing, things like that. A transmission to paint, distributors, some of these pulleys, things like that. Based it with black primer, and then I sprayed it with orange. And the black just helps outline a few things. I'm still going to do like a pin wash on it and everything. It's going to be more of a greasy, dirty motor already. It will be sitting on a stand in the diorama, which I've started making a stand for it. Nothing spectacular, just plain Jane little stand that will sit kind of like so. So anyways, other than that, I got the pulleys on, distributor on. You saw that I made the spark plug wires and stuff like that. If not, well, the link will be up here in the corner so that you can go back and watch the last video where I made the spark plug wires. So anyways, yeah, I got to paint that. Probably the valve or the oil pan. The valve covers I double checked, but I believe they were black in the NASCARs. Paint up the carburetor, things like that. So that'll be one of the things we'll be doing in this video. Also, like I said in the last video, I kind of like the way the white wheels look with the blue car. All right. So I think I'm going to stick with that theme. I'm going to two-tone the car. But before I do that, I did the inside. So the inside is all black. Now, black and white shouldn't look too bad. Like the inside of the car is going to be dirty as well, rusty, because again, this diorama, they found this car and they're trying to bring it back to life. So the interior is all dirty, of course. That'll sit in there. Now I got to touch up along here, but maybe not. I'll tell you in a minute. So anyways, that's what that'll look like in there. Now, of course, you're not going to see a whole lot of the interior, but looking through the windows, if we can, try and get all the lights in the right spot, you can see that down inside, the inner door skin is white. Now, of course, back in the C-pillar back here, you can see that it's going to be white. You'll see white as well. Same thing with the A-pillar up front. So you will see the white on the inside. And I know this, you're saying, oh, it's a blue car. It's going to be, shouldn't be blue. You know what? This is my race car. It's the way it's going to be. But, like I said earlier, I'm liking the white two-tone. So, I'm almost thinking that the bottom half of the car, from this line all the way across, of course, somehow I'll have to fade it from here to here because there's two different body lines here. But I'll figure that out. But maybe I'll just make one line here and just drop it below that line and then come around the nose. But all the way back here, across the back, which won't be much because this back pan here is going to be black anyways, right? Which is why there's not much paint there. And then of course cross back here, and then underneath it'll just roll around, cross here and back up around. That'll stay blue. Everything above that, right, all of this will all be white. Now again, this is I'll probably paint this black. Probably end up painting the interior here black, so it'll match the engine bay, right? So this will be over here, and that'll all be black. But most likely this hood will be propped up against the wall inside the diorama anyways. So if the top is white, we'll go from there. My window trim, it's all rubber anyways. That'll be black. Around here, most likely end up black, maybe a little bit of silver in the vent window area. And then I'll just go along and I'll touch up like the very edge here, around the edge of the wheel well, stuff like that. I'll just touch it up with the blue. But again, this car is going to end up sanded and weathered and everything else, so a lot of that color may not show up to begin with. Again, I don't know if I'll get to the sanding or painting of the top of this in this video, but I want to detail this motor. I've been looking online to see the markings and stuff for these tires. Learned a lot of stuff about NASCAR tires and technology today. But anyways, might pin wash the rims, get them ready to go. This isn't part of it. And then fix this piece now. And maybe do some detailing in here, a little bit on the radiator, stuff on the firewall, things like that. Maybe a little detailing under here. Might get to the rusting portion of this and dirtying it up. So I guess I'll start getting everything out that I want. We'll probably start on the motor first. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay guys, what you're seeing, or at least what I'm seeing on my camera here, the engine looks yellowish, and it's not. This is actually Mopar orange. So, I mean, don't go exactly by what the color is showing there. But anyways, so what I've got here is some lacquer, flat black, Tamiya. And that's what we're going to do a bunch of the parts with. Some of this stuff I'm going to come back and I'm going to give a second coat to. I find the lacquer on this shiny gloss paint doesn't like to stick very well, so I'll let the first coat eat into it a bit, and then the second coat will go on a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to clean up my brush and I'm going to get out another color, let this finish drying, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, so what I've got here is some silver lacquer. LP11 Tamiya. There's just going to be a few little things with this. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of this painted up with the silver. And then I'll be back probably with a different color, and I'll show you where I'm at. And we'll continue from there. As you can see, I got the fuel lines to the carb. One on the front that leads down to a fuel pump that isn't there, but that's fine. This motor is being built, kind of thing, right, in the diorama. Now, I don't know if you can see that. I've started putting the bolts in for the intake manifold. So I'm using 0.4 wire, right? And to drill the holes, I'm using a 0.4 micro bit. So I'm going to continue on this, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the end. Alright guys, just about done. I figured maybe you want to see what I'm doing. So I left 3 for me to drill out and put the bolts in, or the pins, whatever you want to call them. So I'm not drilling them very deep, but just deep enough that everything can hold on. Now of course with these little micro bits, you definitely have to be careful with them. Don't twist them. They will break very easily. As I found out already, I've gone through 3 of this size already. Now just off to the side, I've got a little bit of super glue here. And there you go. Now, I know they're not perfect, but at this scale, you're not looking at it this close, so it's actually fairly convincing. Now, I still have to put a little bit of red for the AN fittings, because usually they're red and blue. So, I'm going to put a little bit of red on there, and then I can probably do up the wires, and we'll go from there. Remember, this engine's going to be sitting on a stand, so it's not going to have everything. It's not going to have the alternator. Probably won't have the belt on it. So it'll probably end up just sitting just like this. I might try to do something for the top of this, but maybe I'll make the air cleaner or something and put that on top, you know. But we'll see. But anyways, that's that. And give me a few minutes. I'll figure out what's next and we'll go from there. Okay, guys. So, I decided to make a few more parts. Now you see I drilled 2 holes here. I got to drill one here. I drilled one up here. Bent the line a little bit here for the fuel pump. So, let me show you what's going on. Found some linkage, but I'm going to rework these. Probably make some of the linkage and parts and rods. Because, I mean, the rods shouldn't be flat and square kind of thing. So, I'm thinking, I'll probably use some actual wire, bend some stuff up and make some linkage. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, I found an ignition coil. Clean that up a little bit. Found an air cleaner. Don't know if I'm going to use it. Oil filter. Yeah, so aside from that, I've got these little pieces here. All right. And these little pieces will end up on here for the oil filter. That's the mount for the oil filter. That goes on the front. Okay, so I got to build that. I also drilled a hole right here. As you can see, that's going to be for this little piece. That'll go like that. All right. Okay. See that? And then this goes in it. Little dipstick. So, I think I need to put a little collar on this, so I'm going to find a piece for that. Now, I also cut up a bunch of these little brass tubes. Right? And I already put a couple on here. Hard to see, but those will get painted. There's one there, one there. Now this goes from here to the oil pan, like so. And these things will get put up all the way there and one down here, right? And then once the oil pump piece is built, I have one of these. So two of these little collets will be on this little piece, right? And this little piece will be on this spot. This is the return line. So there'll be one here. I got to trim this up a little bit. So there'll be one there. And then two little collets on this one. And this one will be here. Like I said, I got to trim them up a little bit. And then I'll use some heat shrink tube to join the two. So I'm going to do that. And I think this video is getting too long. So I'm going to do this stuff off camera. And when I'm done with that, I'll be back and I'll show you where I'm at, and it'll probably be the end of the video. So stay tuned. Okay, guys. Well, I'm at the point now where I've got some painting to do. Might do a few more things, but I'm going to do them off camera, and you'll see them in the next video. So let me show you what I've gotten done to this point. So you've seen the spark plug wires. Now, they're not the prettiest, but I'll clean them up a little bit. And I still got the coil to put on and the center wire. But I got the fuel line for the double pumper. Now, I still got to put red in there yet. Like I said earlier, I got the fuel line right here. Now, that fuel line runs down the side here. And I'm going to make a fuel pump for it. Put that on. I didn't think I was going to, but I am. Now, the stuff that we got done here this afternoon, well, I made this oil pump and oil filter. I made the dipstick and a brace for it. And like I said, I put the little piece on top of the on top of the dipstick. All right, that's now done. I got the return line from the oil pump to the pan. I gotta clean it up a little bit, not a big deal. I also gotta paint the fittings. Then I've got the supply line, so that's the pressure line. And that goes all the way up in here. Again, I gotta paint those fittings. And that's all glued in. Made this little bracket here for the dipstick tube. Got all these bolts put in. So in the next video, there's going to be a bunch more to do. A bunch more to paint up and stuff like that. Probably end up doing some more on the car now that the chassis has been painted and the inside of the body's been painted. So we'll get that all done up, and obviously we'll get this all painted up and do up a little bit more on here, like the fuel pump stuff, like I said. And we won't be far from finishing this car. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit that bell icon so you can get notified when I post more videos. Also, why don't you hit me up and follow me on Instagram. Check out my Facebook and my Facebook page. I'll post things there more often than I will on YouTube, so you can get a quicker update on what's going on behind the scenes. Also, if you decide that you want to help support the channel and donate anything, you can check out my Patreon page. So make sure you tune in for the next video by hitting that bell notification. And until then, later.